Yo, what's going on, guys? Ron here, aka Neos, and today, guys, we're gonna be doing a tier list over hand traps for the upcoming format, CORI. Obviously, before we get started, you already know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell down below. That way, you know when I post more content, and it really does help out the channel. By the way, obviously, I'm gonna be in the same shirt because I'm recording all of these tier list videos in one day. So, if you're curious on that, I'm just letting you know now. That way you don't look like 3 videos down the line and you're like, oh my god, he wear the same shirt for like 2-3 days in a row. No. But yeah. Uh, I wanted to talk about this, guys. Go ahead and I'll pull this up right here. We've got, you know, the best case in scenario for hand traps, decent ones that you could be playing, mid ones that are like, I'm gonna put this as situational. So like these are gonna be hand traps like depending on maybe on your deck that this might be a very 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 good hand trap, or like a very decent one that you should be playing, right? Just because of the way your deck might work, right? But otherwise, generically these are gonna be like your best ones that should be like basically like this should be either in your main or at minimum in your side. This could be like maybe it's in your main, it's more likely in your side, and then like I said, we'll go from there. So, starting off, let's do some easy ones here, right? I think DD Crow's bad. I think if you're going to be playing anything, it should be the Bestials, right? Especially like Magnamut. Magnamut searches Harmonia. I think that's just incredibly strong. So yeah, speaking of Harmonia, I think this is also a very decent hand trap, depending on the deck that you're playing, right? Mainly Synchro based, obviously, but whatever the case might be, it's a strong hand trap that can offer double interruption. Lancia, this thing has no purpose at the moment, unfortunately, but it's just the life we live right now. Retail C, or no, this is Contact C, isn't it? Yeah, this is Contact C. This was Homeless. We're not playing this one. This is Retail C. Situational. You could be playing this in the side, right? Maybe you want it for like, maybe your matchup against Branded is just terrible, and you just and you can play like through a shifter effect, and you want like a level 4 on the field, right? Because you're playing Mitsu Raizio, right? You could play this. Maybe it does you good. It does hit things like KTS, right? Like if you go like chain imperm on whatever Q, and they go chain KTS, and you chain this, like your cool to an opponent might be like, yo, holy shit, but situational, as my point gives. Dominus Impulse. This card is crazy. You should be playing this card. Ash Blossom. Pretty much it should just be in your deck. Shifter. I'm gonna put Shifter up here. Like if your deck can play Shifter, there's just not a reason to not play Shifter. Like if your deck can play it, right? It's a one of like it's one slot in your deck. Just put it in there. Nib is Homeless. This is pretty self-explanatory. Decks are either completely playing through this card. They set up a negate before you get to use this card. Your cool tune opponent looks at your hand and goes, "That's cool, bro," and then you just don't get to nib them anyways. And yeah, this card is unfortunately just kind of dead right now. I'm gonna put these two in Homeless. Reaper does nothing. Azuna's like, there's no point in making this into like a hand trap right now because like you're just better off doing the other stuff that your deck can do. Unfortunately, like, yeah, that's about it. There's no reason for any of the decks to play this. Purge is a very decent hand trap. It's another copy of Ash Blossom for the most part. I think if your deck can play it, it's very strong. Spiral is dead. Will stay dead because Spark got printed, unfortunately. I think Spark is another like situational hand trap. I'm gonna put it at the bottom of B. Like this card is good, but it's like I would never like look at this card and be like, even in like Mitsu Fiendsmith, and be like, wow, you really should play 3 of this card. It's good. It's not amazing. It needs to be played with other Dominus cards. So yeah, another situational one is gonna be Songs. Like if you can play Songs, it's good. You should be playing with other Dominus cards so it can search. Yeah, Imperm. I think Imperm's like decent. I think if you can play Imperm, you should. It's a good card. It's a hand trap. It's a breaker. I say that a lot about this card. I love Imperm. I think Imperm's an amazingly designed card for the most part. Is it a little bit too strong? Yes. I would argue for what it does, it's a little too strong, right? It's none once per turn. It's a hand, like I said, hand trap, board breaker. It's like literally the only downside is like, oh, do you control a card? You can't use this. It has the same restriction like the Molcharmies do, right? So it's like, whatever. Doesn't really matter. Sheena, this deck is homeless, so this hand trap is homeless. Yeah. This is homeless as well. Nobody's really making links right now. I think Belle is like decent. Like she's like either in your side or in your main. Like there's nowhere to put her. Cause like she hits the light and darkness deck. She hits Cool Tune. Like I would argue that she's like top of here, right? Like maybe you don't play her at 3, but she's a good card. I think Droll's like bottom of here, maybe very top of situational. Because like you're gonna Droll sometimes, and like your opponent's gonna go, nice Droll, buddy, and like play through it. Or like sometimes you're gonna Droll them, they're gonna be like, ooh, ow, and then like it's gonna hurt, right? Even against Cool Tune, I think this is very decent, so it's good. Ogre is like with Harmonia. They usually accomplish somewhat the same thing. This one is slightly more versatile, but this one has double interruption, which you can't beat that when you only attach to one effect. Non once per turn. It's just worse than Imperm, but it's a tuner, right? So you play it in like Cool Tune. I think Veiler's pretty good. It's like you can play it. This card's broken. This card needs to be banned. Stop. Why do we have this card, Konami, man? Like, why? I really hate this card. I think this is, like, by far the best because you're actually going to see this in the next video. This card is insane because it's not only is it a hand trap, this is also technically a board breaker because this will make your opponent's board smaller because they have to play under it. I also think that Peruli is very, very good. I'm going to put it, like, I can't put it up here, but I'm going to put it at the very top of this. It hits the Light and Darkness deck. It hits Cool Tune. It hits Elf Note. It hits everything next format, basically. Like, Sacred Beast. But it's like, if you're going to play it, you play like 1 or 2 in the main, right? So it's like barely not here, in my opinion. It's like, it's at the top of here. So, Meows, it's dead. This is like, you play these in Cool Tune. Or some versions of Elf Note, right? Which I've showcased. Peak example of situational. This card is dead. We don't play this card. This Harmonia is ugly. It's not as pretty as my Harmonia, so I'm gonna put it up here. Mourner is like decent. It trades 1 for 1. It burns your opponent, which can be good. It can technically be used on your turn. If your opponent like goes summons whatever, right? Let's say RS. This can trade with RS because like they cannot summon RS while this card is in your hand because they're gonna summon RS. You're gonna go triggers Chainlink 1, Mourner, target RS, and they're gonna go I guess I'm gonna chain RS, target something on the field, negate it. It's whatever. This is incredibly situational. Like you fusing with your opponent's stuff or taking your opponent's stuff is like maybe. But it's incredibly situational. Like, it's very, very situational. Almost homeless, but mainly just situational. Now, the final card on this list, opening to E4. How good is this card, right? You have seen me talk about this card, hype it up. I think this card is absolutely amazing. I think that paired with any hand trap, this card is broken. Super broken. You Droll them, you Imperm them, you Ash them, you... God forbid you shifter them, you anything, bell them on a good effect, like anything, right? Veil or something, and as long as your other hand trap resolves properly, Harmonia too, even Harmonia, it's usually enough to just force your opponent to end their turn. However, we are not taking these cards at the value of like, oh, but I had Imperm Nib, right? The Imperm Nib's pretty good, right? Or I had Droll plus, I don't know, Impulse, right? That's a crazy combo. We're not taking those at value, right? Like double Mulch Army. If you see both of these in your hand, right? Like these are insane because your opponent's completely floodgated, right? We're not taking it the value of, you know, being paired. We're taking it at the face value. Face value, I think this is arguably like top of situational, but I'm gonna put it in like B. I think it's better than all of these. I'm gonna also move Droll up because Droll is like a non one for one card. I'm gonna move it to like up here, like as with the floodgates. I'm gonna put it here because this has the same thing Droll does, right? Droll is like usually like it's like Droll's pretty good, right? But Droll plus any other hand trap is like great usually. Like Droll plus Imperm, Droll plus Ash, Droll plus right. Like you Droll your Akul to an opponent and they go like chain KTS, right? And you know you Ash their KTS, that really hurts, right? So that potential value is very good, but like I said, at the face value, it's like it loses to an ogre, right? Because you go scale the you can you know avoid the ogre by instead of scaling the rook, you just straight up scale the king and then don't search. But you want to scale the rook. And then if you go when you go rook effect and they ogre it, right, that hurts, right? Because now you don't have really anything on the field and you lose the search on the next one. But this card replaces itself. It puts 4 cards on the field. It puts Knight, Field Spell, Rook, King. Right? King is a floodgate. It puts a floodgate on the field. Right? It limits your opponent's moves. You put a protection for your floodgate. Right? You just cannot look at this card and be like, nah, it's alright. Right? Like, you can't do that. Like, this card is insane. Because, like I said, in addition to the 4 cards it put on the field, it traded and gave itself back to your hand. So now you can, with the field spell, you can pitch the one you searched to summon the pawn. The pawn can, like, if your opponent puts anything in the EMZ, you banish it. It summons itself to the field. Then it tags itself out, and then you summon another name. Right? Like, that's crazy good. It's crazy good. This card's super good. But it's not like it's not top tier because you can play around this card. It loses to Fallen and the Virtuous. It loses to Ogre. It loses to Dominus Impulse. Like, this card is like not like it's not like a I activated it, it's resolving. Like, you know, there are ways to interact with it, and like more people are going to be playing Ogre next format. So like this card's gonna it's going to resolve, but it's not gonna fully resolve as often, right? Because it's going to be that good. But you know, to be fair, right? If you go like field spell, Knight, Rook effect, they ogre it. Well, now they don't have ogre for your next turn, or unless they drew 2. And then you're going to be able to like you have the Knight already on the field to start your turn off. Like you go draw standby main. And before you do anything, you can go main, Knight, target monster on the field that's not in its column, banish. Just very, very good, right? But that's going to be it for this, guys. I really do hope that y'all enjoyed, and I hope this gives some enlightenment to why I think each of these are very good. Yeah, I hope I explained, like I said, enough to talk about each individual one. Besides, like, the ones in, like, Homeless, obviously, like, these are pretty self-explanatory. I mean, I guess for the Bestials, I want to cover that also. The Bestials, specifically Mag's good because, you know, it's good against Light and Darkness deck. Obviously, Cool Tune as well, being able to shuffle the deck. All of that's very strong. But, yeah, they also put Bodies on board. That's also good. So, I think that's explanatory, though. So, yeah, I hope, like I said, I hope I explained everything good and well enough for y'all to fully understand my reasoning behind where I put them on the tier list. So with that, guys, I'm going to go ahead and call it there. If y'all did enjoy, please, you know, let me know down below by like, comment, and subscribing, right? And, you know, turn that post notification bell on. That way you know when I post more content, and it really does help with the channel. And I will catch y'all guys in the next video. Peace.